My name is Chris Jazz. I am the curator of Quaternary or Ice Age paleontology here at the Royal Alberta Museum. One of the challenges that we as paleontologists face in the province is when fossils like this are found, a lot of times people are concerned that they're going to get in trouble or that their site might be shut down. I can't stand here and say that that would never happen, but the reality is our intent as paleontologists is really to work with people who find fossils to facilitate the recovery of those fossils. And if sites get shut down, well, then fossils aren't necessarily being found. The process that RVC and Red Brick went through in terms of reporting the bison bones was ideal. Some of the guys who were working construction on the site found the bones. They reported the bones to the appropriate person with historic resource management who contacted me. The museum was close. I walked down to the site, looked at the fossils, and what I asked them to do at this particular site was just to set aside anything that they found. So anything additional that they found was set aside so it wasn't destroyed, and then those fossils were eventually brought to the museum. And that is sort of a perfect way that this kind of find can play out. It worked out really, really well, and it's how the system should work. So the bison bones that we found turned out to be around somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 years old. The bones were identified by actually looking at a couple of the vertebrae. That's what forms the hump on the back of a bison. And two of the thoracic vertebrae, the rib-bearing vertebrae, had that big spine on it. So we were able to determine that they were bison just by looking at the morphology of the skeleton. One of the interesting things about these bones is I don't think that they have actually traveled very far. I think they do represent an individual that was probably living in the local area at the time, died, and then the bones dispersed a little ways down the river valley. A fun fact is that Riverdale area of Edmonton is a fairly well-developed area. And it's pretty interesting to me that even in areas where we've seen lots of development, if you go deep enough, you may get into deposits that still preserve historic resources like these bison bones. Each data point is important and has the potential to inform us regarding the life history of these animals in Alberta. Prior to the last ice age, Alberta was probably a landscape that was dominated by horses. Then after the ice receded, horses, mammoths, bison, a lot of different animals came back, but bison really started to explode on the landscape. So certainly by about 7,000 years ago, bison would have been the iconic Western animal that we recognize in North America today. The best thing that you can do if you find a fossil when you're out hiking or you're working on a construction site or working in a gravel pit is to take a photograph of that specimen, make sure that it's kind of out of harm's way so it's not going to end up getting destroyed, and contact either the Royal Alberta Museum or the Royal Tyrrell Museum. There's a process for reporting for many industrial sites in the province. The most important thing you can do though is take a picture and ask questions about what you found. If you think you found a fossil, we're here to help figure out whether you found something that's really scientifically significant, or on occasion, sometimes it's just a rock. Nevertheless, keep asking questions.